Well, hi, welcome back to my channel. So glad to have you. This is a Renaissance Man channel. You're here because you want to be considered a Renaissance man. You want to find out how to work towards being considered a Renaissance man. That's what we try to do here. Just as a reminder, I have a verbal handicap because of cancer, so my voice is difficult to understand. So please use your closed caption feature on your phone since you won't miss anything important. I have notes. Today I want to talk about being dangerous. Are you a dangerous man? This is a subject that's a little touchy. I don't think Facebook is going to be too thrilled about it. Not only that, there are a lot of women who will never understand what I'm going to tell you. A lot of men who will never understand what I tell you. But there's a group of men that will know exactly what I mean. So, are you a dangerous man? Is a Renaissance man considered a dangerous man? Well, yes, in a way. Let's talk about that. So I call it the paleo mind, but for thousands of years, humans, were hunter-gatherers, and they did this in groups, in tribes, if you will, and that allowed them to be more successful and have a better chance of surviving. Well, in that tribe, like a pride of lions, for example, you'd have one alpha male, you'd have one male in charge. Then within the group, you would have younger alpha males who were not quite ready to challenge the leader yet, and you'd have beta males who would never want to challenge the leader, and you have your females. So that would be your group, your tribe, your pride. Occasionally, a younger male would challenge the older male for dominance, and if the younger male won, the older male is probably dead, and the younger male would then take charge, and that whole process would start over again. Same thing with lions, of course. If the older male won, the younger male would probably die or be shunned, and again, the pride would go on with that same leader in charge. But this is a process that occurred over and over again for thousands of years. So that is kind of, I think, set subconsciously in our minds, in the minds of men, and in the spirit. So even today, then, because it's ingrained in us, even today, when we deal with other males, this process of assessing whether they're dangerous or not, whether they're a challenge or not, happens. And it happens, again, very quickly and mostly subconsciously. You walk into a room, you're dealing in a business meeting or a social setting, and you're dealing with other men. You are assessing, subconsciously or not, whether that person is more dominant, is more dangerous, and how you're going to treat that person will depend on that answer. So, you would want to think about how do you make yourself a more dominant alpha person, a more dangerous man. So, a couple easy ways. One, you definitely want to work out, go to the gym. And in my case, I'm 5'6" and small of stature. So I did spend time in the gym and worked out and became pretty muscular, given what I had to work with. And so that was easy to see when you're dealing with another man. It's easy to see whether this guy's in shape or out of shape. I also chose to do martial arts to give me that advantage. So I still train and have trained for many, many years, over 50 now, in the martial arts, and I train very seriously. I train in Okinawa in Japan, even a short stint in Korea. My current instructor is Okinawan. The training that I received was tough and authentic. So I have every confidence in my ability. As Liam Neeson would say, I have a very particular set of skills. So that gives me confidence. And that shows in my attitude. And that's how this works in modern times. You're not going to challenge someone unless alcohol's involved to a fight. But your attitude, your posture, your eye contact, the way you speak, those are the things that will give off signals to the other men in the room that you are an alpha male, that you are a dangerous man. You're not going to hurt anybody, but if push came to shove, you're not going to be pushed around. And that is important for how you deal with everything in your life, business, social. That is something that's quite important. You don't want to be considered a person that can be pushed around, not a Renaissance man. All right, so as we get older then, this all becomes more difficult. In my 40s, I found that I had to work harder in the gym to just maintain. And I was okay because I understand I was getting older. Then I got cancer, and cancer was devastating to my body. I lost 55 pounds of mostly muscle, and I've gained about 25 of that back, and I'm still working hard on that. But I lost that edge. So I decided to obtain a concealed carry license. I live in a liberal state. It's very difficult to get a concealed carry license. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money, but for me it was worth it. So I want to have that edge. I want to have that attitude that you're not going to push me around, all right? And if a situation calls for it, I can defend myself. If someone is trying to take my life or the life of someone else, I have a tool that I can use to defend myself besides my empty hand skills. So that gives me that attitude my attitude hasn't changed then. I still have that attitude, that posture, the way of speaking, my eye contact, that I'm not intimidated by other men. That's important. Again, that's important for a Renaissance man. If we look at the definition of a Renaissance man, early definitions, they talked about a Renaissance man was good at wrestling. What they mean, I think, was empty hand fighting. Was also could handle a sword, as they would put it. So you could use a weapon. You could use a weapon in battle or in a duel. So that is the ideal Renaissance man then. Besides all of the other things we've talked about and we'll continue to talk about, having this edge, having this alpha dominant piece of male inside you is really important for a Renaissance man to have. All right, today's Dress Down Friday, so I'm not in my usual sports coat. Of course, I don't wear a tie because of the throat cancer, but don't let that bother you. It's okay to relax sometimes. All right, listen, I tend to continue these videos about every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, depending on the subject matter, and I enjoy doing them. I enjoy your comments, so please hit subscribe. I'd love to have more subscribers, and glad to get this information out to as many men as we can. All right, thank you so much. God bless.